Every confidence in the exam system after a major U-turn over this year's A-level results.
Students will now be awarded grades set by teachers' assessments rather than by a computer algorithm.
About half an hour ago, Mr Williamson told BBC Breakfast he was setting up a task force to respond to universities' calls for urgent help to try and deal with the expected surge that will now follow in calls from students hoping to secure a place.
We've set up a task force with the university sector. How can we boost their capacity? Not just boosting their capacity for this year, but also looking at how we can boost their capacity for next year. We recognise some of the real challenges that universities face. We know that there's a clear expectation, that is on universities for them to welcome in so many youngsters who have achieved those grades.
Well, let's go through some of that with our political correspondent, Iain Watson, who joins us from Westminster. And like many other people, Iain, reacting to what you heard from the Education Secretary today, I think I was trying to count them as we went along. I think Louise asked him 4 times about his resignation, whether he'd considered that. I think he ignored that on all 4 occasions, but it is a major talking point.
It is a major talking point, Dan, of course, given the individual distress caused to many school students over the past few days. The questions been asked by Conservative MPs, for example, isn't so much about the U-turn, which they're delighted about, but how long it took the Education Secretary to get there. One of them said to me, look, a minister who makes school children cry is not in a good place. Another felt that because last week he was insisting there be no U-turn, then really his position should be untenable. Another suggested he might be reshuffled by the Prime Minister in the autumn. But as you say, he was asked on this programme, would he resign? He didn't say yes or no. He didn't say whether he had offered to resign. He chose to answer in his own way. He said that over the next year, he would be concentrating on building a world-beating education system. So I took that to be a no. And when he was asked had he spoken to the Prime Minister about this apparent mess, this is what he said.
I spoke with the Prime Minister, explained the situation, the fact that we needed to move to centre-assessed grades because it was the fairest system and the right system to do. But my focus is making sure that every student gets the grades that they deserve, making sure that we deliver the return of all children back to school in September.
Interestingly, I think from Gavin Williamson's point of view, he can use the exam regulator Ofqual as something of a human shield when it comes to his political career, because his allies are insisting that he asked them the right questions at the right time, and they were given reassurances that the most disadvantaged pupils would not be affected. So, for example, there's an education select committee, a cross-party committee that raised concerns back on the 10th of July, and I'm told that on the 16th of July, Gavin Williamson raised many of those concerns directly with Ofqual at a meeting with civil servants present, and he was told that the system that they were deciding upon, this controversial algorithm, would not produce results that would disadvantage those pupils. So I think one of the reasons he's still in his job is he can say that he was trying to deal with this system. He's a minister, not somebody who designs algorithms, but the questions still remain about why there was such a delay between a U-turn in Scotland last week and a U-turn in England this week.
OK, Iain Watson, thank you for that assessment of what the Education Secretary was saying on the programme this morning.
In other news, Marks and Spencer has announced that it plans to cut 7,000 jobs by the end of the year.